Good afternoon to everybody. Before starting my speak, I take this opportunity to express my immense gratitude to ILTA and as well as CMA for giving me this honor to speak on the memory of late Mr. Sen, and I will try to give justice to this lecture. Although I am not from the leather manufacturing industry background, I'm basically a finance. I'm basically from the finance background, managing corporate finance, audit, and all the financing activities. But hopefully, it will be a great session, as I understood, that finance nowadays with this disruptive environment could be a light-giving scenario for the any industry, like leather industry as well. I have sectionized my speech and presentation in three different clusters. Number one, the first one is a brief about legacy of leather technology. Slightly something about the background of leather industry, which is not very much known to me, but maybe you are all the proficient and professionals are sitting here. So what I will also request that let this speaking session be an interactive one, not the monologue that I will be talking and you are listening. So anybody has any questions or any enquiry, please raise your hand. And alternatively, what I will also do, if I stuck somewhere, I will try to get clarification from you all, because all the stalwart from the industry, from the academic background, the students who just got a brilliant results and got awarded, maybe also help me to make this session a very productive one. Now going forward with my slides, I feel that everybody from this industry are well aware of the industry outlook and the presence of Indian leather industry scenario in a global platform, which is very bright and very strong. The data I have collected could be very reliable sources based on the internet and other publications. Just to make this slide very helpful to understand how uh, leather industry as a whole from India is dominating the global market. Now, if you can see from the data, there are two things is very prominent, that is the production and export. Basically, export is very prominent in this industry, particularly the domestic consumption and export is very much skewed. Not the industry is basically looking for export sell, because the market is in the global market, not prominent in the domestic market, and it is localized in the sense some part of the geography is contributing the generation of total revenue, like US and Europe. Russia is presently, what my understanding goes, and very recently the Russian market has been explored. Now going forward, the sectoral production also, in case of export and production, 46% of the total export is the second largest one from the India, including leather goods and accessories and garments. You can see the data. Sourcing of 15 countries, I believe almost more than 50 countries in the world, maybe 78 or 79, so far my count goes, are getting import from Indian market. Different leather products, be it raw leather, finished raw leather, garments, or any other products like footwear is also having a very strong presence in the export market. Now, the growth in the global market as a whole for leather products are promising. As per KPMG study and also seconded by some survey by PwC, the growth in 2025, that is last year, projected at $531 billion US dollar and going to be 855 US dollar in 2032. So there's a huge growth prospectivity for leather products in a global demand scenario. Now, this translates also a CAGR. CAGR, I believe you understand the topology of the CAGR, is a compounded annual growth rate. Now, CAGR is used as a matrix of development in what rate something is growing. Now, for a particular leather product, CAGR expected to grow by 7% means it's a huge growth potential. Normally, in any product, whether it is a FMCG product, whether it is a other infrastructural product, normal CAGR is 5 to 6%. Now, when we are talking about a 7% growth, it's a very fantastic growth prospects. In case of Europe only, the supplies to Europe observed a hike in 2024. Now I'm coming back why Europe is having this magnanimous prospectivity because of other problems in other sectors of the globe. Now in 2023, US dollar business was 176 billion, which is in 24 grown to 186. Although it's not very percentage wise, if you calculate, may not be very fantastic, but it gives an trajectory that there are growth potential that is developing. So tapping that market could be a alternative. When I'm talking about disruption and gliding through disruptions, there could be a lot of options where to find out the potential market. Now, in Europe, the past data is telling a typical story that demand for luxury goods luxury product in case of leather is growing. I think all the students are also there, the businessmen and professionals are also there. The luxury products in leather we know, not very much understood by me, because there is a typically three very visual product classifications: footwear, other apparels, and leather made luxuries, particularly in the fashion industries. Now the demand for leather upholstery also arise because last 10 years, if you see, the mainly used in the furniture and the automobile sector, the leather upholstery is being used. In contrast to Western countries where automotives were basically using the leather upholstery, currently in Indian subcontinent and in Asia Pacific also, when the small car has been introduced in the market for better reach and use the potential saving of middle class society to afford them typically car, the upholstery use of leather in upholstery has been increased. It creates a typical value of the particular vehicle. Now, this is a sector which has been grown for last 10 years. Although in some of the premier classes are using the leather, and there is a trend where alternative leather is also being used in upholstery. There are also in the last 7-8 years, because of a lot of disruptions, lot of challenges in the market, and individual organizations' capacity, also design and exploring other innovations, there are a lot of partnerships and collaborations is happening. These are basically strategic collaborations. You know, particularly in fashion designings also, the lot of famed organizations in leather production, they are collaborating in case of good leather products, leather skins and hides, and with designers. So this collaboration and partnerships give these companies a strategic position to encash the market, which may not be possible for an individual corporation to encash this thing. So this is also prominent for last 6-7 years. Then this industry also facing this plant-based or vegan leather which has been developed, which is also a type of disruption to the conventional leather production. You must be knowing there is alternative leather product also being placed parallelly to the original leather products. So give innovating a new marketplace or innovating a new product place. So more or less this was the industry outlook for leather products. Conventional leather, then their use in different markets, amenities, vehicles, fashion product, common man's regular use products, and also then developing or innovating alternative leather products which may be biodegradable or may not be biodegradable. That part I am coming in my next slides, and also the market scenario globally. Now, in the meantime, what is happening? We all experienced a sudden disruption by COVID-19, which was unprecedented. We never prepared for that. We never known that this type of situation will come, where lockdown and this type of prohibition has been compelled. And this COVID-19 has played a very destructive role to all the industry. So the leather industry also not uh, not being disaffected by this, heavily affected by this. And if you go by the sales turnovers, there at sea, the worst hit was export in leather footwear. I have segmented these three peculiar lineup in leather products. One is leather footwear, non-leather footwear, and leather garments. These are the maximum affected due to COVID-19. 29 to 31% revenue loss in terms of volatile foreign exchange market is heavy. Whoever is doing business, they can understand how much is being affected by that. And then liquidity also affected because cash is much required, because leather industry is labor intensive industry where cash is much required. Payments are being deferred because globally all the purchasers also facing some problem. So there was a financing problem, and the finance environment globally was not ready for this situation, so that they can have a scheme for financial assistance. There was no immediate solution for that. And this create a halt to the industry. So COVID-19 is one of the disruption that creates a halt or bump to the progress of this industry when it was running very smoothly. Now, again, I believe anybody knows about COP26? Anybody here in this known to COP26? United Nations organized climate change seminars in every year, or regularly they are organizing this thing. I believe you are understanding the climate change also, because we are reading in the newspaper, seeing in the media about global warming, climate change, everything. Now, if we go back to the conventional leather production, our perception about common man is leather is being produced from by killing of animals, bovine or herd or sheep, whatever. But if we go slightly in if you deep dive there, it is actually not killing. It's coming a byproduct of a meat industry. So there is a common perception problem for people like me that it is being killed, which is not a localized perception, it's a global perceptions. And there was a lot of animal welfare associations like PETA, I believe you all know the PETA. They are also telling in their website I have seen, they are clearly writing that leather production is being done by killing animals, which is not correct probably. You may justify this thing. It is coming from the waste product of the meat industry. Otherwise, it could have created a greater problem because of fermentation of the leather and disposal could be a problem. So COP26 COP is of parties, conference of parties. Parties in the sense there are a lot of countries they are participating, and last COP 26 happened in, it was in 26th climate change, where 197 countries has been joined. It happened in 2021, and this COP 26 has given certain mandate for restricting the climate change actions. Now, global warming is a part of climate change activity. You know very well that nowadays we are also getting star rating for electrical gadgets, particularly in air conditioning systems and refrigerators and everything. The star rating actually giving an assurance that how much warming is being done by using this particular gadget. Previously it was not there. If you gone back 10, 15, 20 years back, there was no concept of energy efficiency star marking. Now it is coming out. So this is one of the effort that industry is putting to indicate the customer for applying his choice. So whether you are also equally responsible for maintaining the warming in a particular temperature level. Now COP 26, all the countries they have agreed that the temperature rise will not be allowed further more than 1.5 degrees centigrade. This is the consensus that all the countries they attended that COP 26 they have taken. Now for this consensus, a lot of activity has to be done and down the level. Whether he is a consumer, whether he is a industry, because industry also produce lot of carbon. The carbon creates an atmospheric temperature in the sense of greenhouse gases. You must be knowing, I am a finance person, I am not very much conversant with the technicalities, but greenhouse gases everybody knows. If you go back, previously we used perfumes which having a chemical, which was the chemical? CHC, CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. It is 25-30 years back. Now use of CFC has been stopped because it is accumulated in the stratosphere level and create a gap by which it depleted the ozone, and if ozone level depletes, the ultraviolet ray comes, it affects human and animal civilizations. So this way also, because now if we don't stop the warming further, it will create a negative impact on our livelihood and the world as a whole. Now in COP 26, in line with the COP 26, whatever has been agreed to all the countries, in case of leather industry also, we have to comply with some actions. I have listed out 3 actions. Leather being naturally produced fiber contains the same level of biogenic carbon with any other further addition. There is a contention of the people that leather industry producing extra carbon. Now since leather, I am talking about pure leather, not about alternative leather which is being produced from some other lab grown fibers or vegan leathers. Now this particularly organic leather which come from bovine, that is ox or sheep, whatever, they are already having the carbon element in their tissues, and the processing, despite processing, no further carbon addition is happening. So in that way, the COP 26 whatever they have suggested, the industry already complied with these processes. So no deviation is being observed. Number 2, leather upcycle the meat industry ensuring recycling of waste by producing a versatile and unique product in circular economy. Anybody understand if what is circular economy? A circular economy is basically a representative circle where input and output are continuous. So your output is my input, my output is somebody's output. So it does not create any waste. It circles, it moves within the circles. So that's a repeat use. You must be observing in media also, in newspaper also, now there was a word, the repeat use of plastics. You use those plastics which is may not be biodegradable, but it can be used in a repeat manner. Biodegradability of plastic is long, it's maybe 50-60 years. So in leather industry also, it's having a circular economy. Somebody's output is somebody's input. Like pure leather industry use the finished leather from tanneries. So in that way, and it upcycle the meat industry. So there is no waste, no extra chance of polluting the weather or polluting the air by way of greenhouse gases, producing greenhouse gases or producing more carbon or adding more carbon. Alternative materials are the last one. The alternative materials are fossil based alternatives that tends to add carbon footprint. Now, of late, what is happening? The alternate leather that we are producing or using also, the life cycle assessment test has been done in some cases, and there are traces of fossil product has been found. So it is not ensured that alternative leather is always neutral or carbon neutral or weather neutral. Purely it cannot be said. So the context of this slide was COP26 has suggested and agreed by all the countries that okay, we will be ensuring that there will be no global warming, and on that context the leather industry is already complied with, not in non-compliance. So this is the purpose of this slide. Now my topic was how to glide with the disruption, some perspective. Now commonly or colloquially we know disruption means destruction. Normally in common sense we use the word disruption as a destruction. So what is breaking out or not audible, sorry. So disruption is, we perceive the word disruption as a destruction. Destruction. Now what is disruption? Disruption is, in the parlance of business and industry, you can say is a new technology or new way of doing things. In our daily life also, we are doing a lot of things that we are not conventionally done or not probably used to do it. There are a lot of people who are aged, never used computer, but present technology used in banking, daily purchasing of daily needs are resorting to online payment, making payment through digital platforms. Now, if you ask somebody who is 60 plus or 65 plus, he never thought that this type of purchasing system will be there. Nobody thought this thing. Even the platforms like food delivery platforms, medicine delivery platforms are already existing. So these are the new changes. How these changes can be called as disruption? When we use the word disruption, we are contexting this, the existing or the conventional business is facing challenge for the new system of doing business. So there is also an opportunity. If you see, the disruption gives an opportunity to you to change yourself. And naturally we are propensic to changes. In nature also there are a lot of changes are happening. Otherwise the entire life cycle cannot move on. Lot of changes are happening. Even in our season they are also changing. In Calcutta and surrounding this year, the type of winter we never faced last 5-6 years. So people who are affected by cold, they must be taking a precautionary step to not to affected by this typical sudden cold temperature. So this, for them this is a disruption because they are not used to it. So we have to use the word disruption as a new method or new way of doing things where I have to change myself. Every industry is doing this thing, every industry is facing this type of disruption in their field because of new technology coming, new way of doing things coming. Likewise, the leather industry is also facing a disruption. Now for leather industry, disruption inculcate change. So we have to probably change ourselves for doing our conventional leather business, leather product development and their marketing globally. The last paragraph, disruption response. Like every actions, we have given some response. This is a natural phenomenon in any case. So in case of disruption also, the quicker we can give a response, we will be the winner. In marketing also, there is a common myth that any typical market, the first entrant get all the advantages. He is getting all the risk because he don't know what type of reaction will come. But he is also getting a first entrant advantage. Any market, be it leather, be it telecom, be it electricity, be it everything. So that advantage is there. So the response time for disruptive scenario is very critical. So for this response, what I have to do? I have to be elastic. Elasticity you have studied in your curriculum, and commonly means elastic means who can change itself, right? And in physics, elasticity called that character which prevent the change in physics. That's why iron is more elastic. It's a myth actually, and plus the elastic we use in clothes are more elastic. But in response, disruptive response system, we have to be very elastic, quicker. We have to think very quicker. We have to be very objective so that we can get the advantage of fast entry in the market. Post COVID-19, there was a PwC scenario which says the pandemic has created greatest opportunity to restructure business. When we do restructure, when we do business restructure, only in case when we suffer very much in terms of liquidity, business continuity. We started thinking about restructuring so that we can save our business. But here, the COVID-19 has given an opportunity to change ourselves, change our way of doing business so that we can do more relevant things. We do not lose the revenue. We do not lose the consumer. The survey result for consumer products reveals 80% respondents agree that what business do and how it is does will be different. I think COVID-19 happens in 2019 end. It was remain in 2020. I'm not talking about his reiteration, but in between, how we used to do so many things have been changed now. Because there was some part of convention that people interaction was very strong in our practices and convenient business transactions. But after COVID-19, when technology suddenly take the place of this gap, we are used to these things. Nowadays, even a 10 rupee matchbox, people used to use the digital platform, which we never used to it. We never imagined it that someday we have to do it. But everybody has get convenience for doing that thing, right? So disruption as a whole, when in the context of in the parlance of this particular slide, if we take the disruption is an opportunity for bigger industrial or business practices, it will give an advantage as leather industry as a whole. Anything you may ask me? So far we have discussed this thing? No?